All right, thanks for joining me today on the MRE Experience. And today we're looking at something really new. Not this guy, but this guy. This is the new CCAR. This is supposed to be replacing the First Strike Rations. Now, this is a August 5th, 2025 production. And I just randomly pulled this one out of my inventory to compare it because I think there's some deficiencies in this new Close Combat Assault Ration. This one is Menu 3 Beef Stew. I have not seen any reviews on number 3. I see 1 and 2, which I believe 2 is tuna, 1 is spaghetti and meatballs. And mind you, these are meant to be used by troops that are first coming in. There's no logistics. They're not even carrying real MREs. They're carrying these because for the first 72 hours of intense combat operations, these are their menus. So there's, I believe, 10 of these in a case. We haven't really seen too many of these out in public. They're slowly filtering down. I fortunately found this one on eBay, as so many other people have. There's only one person kind of releasing these. So that's what we have. But I already see some concerning facts, and I'm going to share them with you before we move on to consuming this and checking it out. Now, like I said, this one is a 2025 production, August 5th. The date code is 5217. And this one, which is kind of interesting that they line up like this, is a menu number 8, honey barbecue chicken sandwich with albacore tuna. You can see that. And it's interesting because this one was packed the same date, but a year later. So this date code on this one is 4218. So this was Friday, August 5th, 2024. This is the old style. If you like these, I would suggest start stockpiling these because they will become more hard to find as the stock that's in the field runs out. And because anytime something is hard to find, prices start going way up. People will start buying these, stockpiling them. Certain people like certain menus. And the prices are going to start going through the roof as these start becoming more and more scarce. Now, on the weight of this one, this is 1,130 grams or 2 pounds, 7.9 ounces. This delivers 2,900 calories, which is a lot. This is a 24-hour ration, I remind you. 15% protein, 34% fat, 53% carbs. Now, I'm not going to open this one, but I do have a breakdown of the menu. And the menu consists of filled French toast, a honey barbecue sandwich, tuna, which is albacore tuna, a plain bagel, cheese-filled crackers, cheddar, beef strips barbecue, which is going to be the retort pouch, beef strips teriyaki, which is going to be like a beef jerky, a dessert bar, which is going to be chocolate banana nut, a First Strike bar, mocha flavored, cinnamon flavored Zapple sauce, which is going to come in the retort pouch that you tear open and kind of just suck through. We have fruit nut mix type 2, a vanilla powdered dairy shake, caffeinated gum, a beverage base, whether it's going to be lemon lime, fruit punch, mayonnaise packet, and the accessory packet A with the spoon. That's packed with a lot of food. I think this is going to fall short on what the contents are. So while we're here, let's check it out. Let's open this up and see what we actually have. Let's get rid of this guy so we're not cluttering up our workspace. Let's open this up and see exactly what we have. All right, because there's not a lot of information on these menus out there, after I break this out, I'm going to record every single nutritional fact on every piece of food item in here, and I'm going to do a quick breakdown of what the caloric content is, the protein, fat, and carbs, and we're going to see if it measures up to the old First Strike rations. So let's get into it. I'm going to save this package, so I'm not going to destroy it trying to open it. I'm just going to give it a little slit, and we're going to save this because this is my very first CCAR. All right, and the first thing we have is a toffee dessert bar. 1.4 ounces, 40 grams, 250 calories. Second thing we have is a chocolate chip toaster pastry, 190 calories. This is 1.6 ounces, 48 grams. Okay, so we're looking good so far. Crackers, 170 calories, 1.3 ounces. Chocolate peanut spread, 150 calories, 1 ounce. Mocha energy gel, 1.2 ounces, 34 grams. Beef teriyaki stick, just under an ounce, 0.95, 27 grams. And this is 100 calories. Skittles. That's the only thing that's on it, just Skittles. Jalapeno cashews, 200 calories, 1.34 ounces. A beverage, base powder, electrolyte, grape. That's nice. 0.85 grams or ounces, 24 grams. That's nice to see some drinks finally. High energy beverage, cookie and cream. I don't know where that is. We have an accessory packet. We'll get into that when we do. Pepperoni pizza crackers, 230 calories, 1.69 ounces. This is most likely going to be combos. We have a garbage bag or a bag to repack your components. We have a pouch. This is the cookies and cream. That is 280 calories, 7 grams of protein, 5.2 ounces. Recovery bar, salted caramel marshmallow crisp, 250 calories, 2.2 ounces. And then we have our main entree, which come in these weird looking pouches that you tear off the top and suck it through. We're not going to consume it like that. I'm going to put this in an FRH, warm it up, tear it open, throw it on the serving tray so we could see it. And I get it. You're not going to be eating these in the field in a newly, operation where you just hit the ground. You're going to be sucking this down. But if you're, if you have a moment, you're going to probably throw this on an engine block, exhaust pipe, and warm this up, because who wants to eat cold food? I don't. And this is beef stew, 227 grams, 1 serving per container, 23 grams of protein. It's an 8-ounce pouch, 21 grams of fat, 65 milligrams of cholesterol, 950 milligrams of salt, 41%. Total carbs is 17. All right, so let's open this. And we have Meg Arctic Mint Military Energy Gum, 5 pieces, 100 milligrams of caffeine per piece. Comes in at 12.5 grams, just under an ounce, 0.44. Picante seasoning, 2 grams. That's nice. Although, how are you supposed to? You're supposed to, I guess, suck the pouch and then throw some seasoning in your mouth? I mean, that don't make no sense. We have a moist towelette. Actually, we have 2 of them. And you know what? That's kind of disappointing. No coffee, which of course we all know they're eliminating coffee because these new soldiers just don't like coffee flavored things. So they give you only one thing of energy gum, which they should have probably gave you like multiple energy gels, which they did. Mocha flavored. Who likes a mocha flavored energy gel? And I don't know if I see any caffeine in this. Maltodextrin, sugar. Yep, there's coffee extract and there is caffeine in this. So that's kind of disappointing. But if you can wipe yourself to clean up twice, why isn't there 2 toilet papers? And I don't see any matches here. That's kind of weird that we're finally seeing a ration without any matches. So that's going to be it. Let me record the contents of all this food, and I'll come back with you with a number on caloric intake and percentages on protein, fat, and carbs. Stand by. All right, we broke everything out. We ran the numbers, and it adds up. We have 2,800 calories, exactly 2,663 kcals if I didn't count the Skittles, but I opened the Skittles up and they're 250, so we're probably a little over 2,800 calories in nutritional information right here. We have 42% fat, 48.7% carbs, 10.9% protein. Protein comes in at 71 grams protein, 318 grams in carbs, and 123 grams of fat. So they add up. I don't know, not used to this. So I'm going to break this down into individual meals today. This is all I will be consuming for today, a 24-hour period. And let me break this down into individual meals, and then we're going to tackle it and see what our thoughts are on this new style CCAR, Close Combat Assault Ration, which is supposed to be replacing the FRS, which is the First Strike Ration. So stand by. I'm going to start plating this up, and we're going to dig in. All right, we're back. I looked at the menu, and I broke it down into 2 meals, 2 snacks. And this is what we have for breakfast. Chocolate chip toaster pastry, which is going to probably be a Pop-Tart. A salted caramel with marshmallow crisp recovery bar. And our mocha energy gel. And a glass of water. Because assuming you're going to be in the field, you're going to definitely have a canteen with some water. So let's get into it. Doesn't seem like a outstanding breakfast, but this is what we got. All right, so our toaster pastry looks pretty good. We got our salted caramel recovery bar. And it is double packaged. And that looks actually pretty good. That smells nice. I smell honey. I smell oats. That thing is dense. It seems like they're replacing a few components with really high energy, high calorie, high fat contents to eliminate a couple of the menu items to lighten the overall weight of these meals. Oh wow, oh my goodness. There you go. Wow, that looks thirst-provoking. This is the Mocha Energy Gel. And we got all of it. All right, so that's what we have. Let's try it. I'm going to tray this up so you can actually see what we got here. So let's give this a taste. This is very thick, very syrupy, and looks like I'm going to make a mess of this. So let's actually dig into this and try it out. That's actually really good. Very thick. That is really good. I wouldn't mind having this. It's not overly sweet. Goes down very easy. It has the consistency of honey. The mocha flavor is very nice. It's not overpowering. It's not overly sweet. And I could see how this would definitely give you energy in the field. You could slam one of these down real quick, have some water, and you can push on easily. That actually might go really nice on the dessert bar, the mocha dessert bar. So let's spoon some on there and try it out. Take a bite of this. This is very dense, very thick. See how it is firm. Kind of reminds me of a First Strike bar. Let's give that a try with the mocha on it. Very chewy. That really doesn't add much to it because this is so overwhelming of grain taste and honey. That's pretty good. This is a good, quick, on-the-go food. If you have not had the pleasure to have one of these, it's almost like a Rice Krispie treat bar, but twice as dense and half as sweet. Let's look at the toaster pastry. I think we have all had toaster pastries. I love how they get compacted from being in the retort pouch. This was vacuum sealed and it was not double bagged. So let's give that a try. Classic Pop-Tart. That hits the spot. Really wish I had a coffee, or maybe an instant coffee in a pouch. I mean, really, they should incorporate a couple quick on-the-go drinks instead of just one. There should be at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4. One for each meal and then 2 snacks. But okay, well, that was breakfast. I don't think anyone wants to see me gnaw through a granola bar and the toaster pastry, so I'm going to finish this off camera, and in a couple hours, I'll be back with a snack. All right, we're back. We're back for some snacks. Now, the reason I'm breaking these meals up into smaller on-the-go meals is because this is probably exactly how they're going to be eaten. They're not going to have time within the first 72 hours of conducting operations to actually sit down and have a meal. So they're probably going to just eat when they have moments to eat. During the highs and lows of fighting, there's always a little downtime, and that's how they'll be eating this. So this is a snack. We're going to have the beef teriyaki stick, the Skittles, and the pepperoni pizza crackers, which are probably combos. Water, because we don't have any beverages in this menu other than one electrolyte drink. So this is what we have. So let's dig into it. Interesting fact about the First Strike rations is they have been out for almost 20 years. I can't believe it's actually been that long. They were first kind of developed in the early 2000s, 2002, 2003. They started filtering down into the troops around 2005, 2006. They did evolve as they went through the menus to incorporate other menus. I think about 7, 8 years later, they expanded the whole line of menus. And this is what we have now with the First Strike rations. This is not that. This is a CCAR. But it's kind of disappointing that you look at the First Strike rations. They've been out for almost 20 plus years. And now in this next generation CCAR, I would say maybe half to 60 to 70% of the items are just recycled from the old First Strike rations. Like, what have you guys been doing for 20 plus years? This is the best we can give our troops that are in the most intense combat situation, first boots on the ground, and this is what they get. I mean, why don't we see a lot of new futuristic components, a lot of tubes of pate, fish, fish pate, high protein, high energy. It seems like everything is just carbs, sugar, and caffeine. Like, that's what we're running off in the first 72 hours of the most intense combat a soldier is going to see. I think that's pretty disappointing. Wow, this does not want to rip. Holy mackerel. I mean, it looks like the logistic office for the procurement of these components just went down to the local 7-Eleven and bought whatever they could find on the shelves. That's pretty disappointing. And mind you, I mean, I get it. These are only for the first 72 hours. But after the first 72 hours, they're not going to have logistics set up for a field kitchen. That's when they start transitioning to MREs. And they could be on those for weeks. So, I don't know. And look at this. This is supposed to be a new production, and we already got really damaged components. All right. And that's our next meal. I mean, Skittles, just food coloring, sugar. I don't know what to say about them. They're decent. The ones that aren't damaged. Water, we provided this, so that wasn't even from the meal. Combos, pepperoni pizza flavored, not bad. What I'm really surprised, since these meals are so sugar and carbohydrate packed, they should have threw in a couple fiber tablets. And maybe a couple of vitamin tablets, because I doubt you're getting your full load of vitamins out of gas station food, because that's basically what this is. Candy, combos, and beef jerky. And what's up with the beverages, man? It's always nice when you could drink something other than water, and they take up so little weight, and they're such a morale booster. Why not include them? I don't understand this. I know that this CCAR is just like the first iteration of that menu line. So it most likely will get tweaked over the years, kind of like the First Strike Ration. I mean, that took almost 20 years, really 10 years to evolve, and then it stuck around for another 10, 12 years. So I get it that this is probably going to evolve, but really, come on. Recycling combos, beef jerky, Skittles, what do we have, like 1 or 2 components maybe in every menu? That's not revolutionary. That's just a rebranding. You guys are falling asleep behind a wheel, and our troops are paying for it. So do right by them. Now, I like these. Look at the color. That's pretty decent. I know some people get turned off by these cheaper beef jerky sticks, but I think they're pretty decent. And if you're done eating just carbs all day, you're going to need a little protein. These are pretty decent. Taste like a little sausage. like a little pepperoni sausage. It doesn't have that much spice to it. There is a nice smoky flavor to it. I particularly like these. I mean, they're not the top shelf beef jerky that we probably should be eating in these menus, but I guess they fit the government's bill. Cheap and shelf stable. And they pack the minimal requirement nutrients for soldiers to meet the percentages, listed by the specifications for this menu. They're smoky. They have a decent taste. I mean, I've heard people describe them as dog treats, but I don't think that's true. I actually like them. Whenever I can get a few of these, I definitely enjoy them. I mean, they're not top shelf beef jerky, but if you've been slamming down combos, Rice Krispie bars, because this is actually pretty good. And that actually goes nice with this. You got a little texture from the pretzels, salt, pepperoni, and then you gotta have like a little beef stick right here. So they actually go nicely together. Some water, stay hydrated. Let's finish that up. All right, well, I'm gonna finish these combos, the water, and these Skittles over the next hour or so because I'm pretty much just hopped up on carbs and sugar right now. I will come back when we have, I don't know if it's going to be a meal or another snack, but we'll see. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. It's a couple hours later, and honestly, I'm a little hungry. These meals, these little snacks in between breakfast and then our second snack are not very filling. They're very carb heavy, but honestly, they're not very filling. And I would really suspect that if you're in intense combat, doing maneuvers, possibly marching miles on end to get from objective to objective, you're going to be starving. So let's start off with our military energy gum. This is Arctic Mint. There's 5 pieces, 100 milligrams per piece. I'm suspecting that if I'm a soldier and I've been active all day trying to stay alive, I'm going to need some caffeine. So let's look at this. Oh my goodness, why won't you open? We have 5 pieces. That's what they look like. I'm not going to eat all 5 pieces, but I'm just going to have one for now. And that's pretty good. So while we're caffeinating, let's see what we have here. We're going to have our chocolate peanut spread, 1 ounce. We're going to have our crackers, which are plain, non-vegetable, and our high energy beverage, cookies and cream. Now, I thought this was going to be a little thicker to actually possibly put it out on the tray, but this is very liquidy. This is really a beverage. So what we're going to do is we're going to pour some out in this tray so you could see what it actually looks like, and we're going to enjoy it. So let's get started. Crackers look like they're in good shape. I don't know why they give you 2. You're not actually enough spread to actually enjoy 2, but let's just make do with what we got. All right, so, okay. I guess we're going to have it on 2. And this is nothing different from the US MREs. This is just chocolate peanut butter, kind of like Nutella and peanut butter mixed together. So let's get this stuff out. They're very thick. I did knead it for a good minute. And like usual, there's not enough. They should really bring back the 1.5 ounces, especially for something like peanut butter. That gum is pretty decent. I'm not catching any off taste from the caffeine. It's got a really good chew to it. The Arctic mint flavor is a little strong at first, but after you kind of chew it up a little while, it tamed down, and it actually isn't bad. Let's get this spread out. We have no beverage in this portion of our snack because this is our beverage right here. And we'll see how we're gonna do. I have water in a glass because if you're a soldier and you are in the field, most likely you're gonna have water. It's weird, there's some clumps in this peanut butter and chocolate. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but it looks like there's some grittiness to it. I tell you, they're really going all out with the components here. Clean off our spoon so we don't have any cross-contamination when we enjoy this bad boy. This is the high energy beverage, cookies and cream. So just so we can get a good shot of it for the camera. Oh my goodness. And that really is a liquid. They're not joking around when they say this is a beverage. Pretty unique color. Look how I didn't expect it to be that liquidy. I mean, it feels liquidy in the pouch, but that stuff came pouring out. So let's look at that. See that? That is very liquidy. Just so I'm not mixing flavors here, I'm going to chuck the gum because I'm sure I already got the caffeine I need from it. And let's taste this. That's weird. I'm getting a little hint of cookies. Definitely getting a hint of cream, but that's just weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird. All right, let's enjoy our crackers and peanut butter chocolate spread. I almost want to say that that grittiness in there is salt, because I'm getting an overwhelming salty taste. But how do you incorporate salt and not have it completely break down? Because, you know, salt is soluble, so it will just melt. That has to be some kind of flavor enhancer or chemical, because I've not seen that in chocolate peanut butter spread. We actually see like a sandy texture in it. That's some kind of preservative or food modifier. Let me take a little swig of some H2O here. Clean the palate, and let's go in again. Yeah, that's some kind of chemical additive, because I'm getting an overwhelming salty flavor, and I know it's not salt. And there's no salt on the crackers. That's just weird. Let's take a little sip of our cookies and cream, just so we don't have to spoon it like baby food. That's weird. That's almost like a coffee creamer. It's as thick as that, but it has a weird aftertaste too. Look at that. Look how it's slow to kind of pool up. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, for a quick energy boost, I guess. Ingredients: creamer, cream, skim milk, non-fat milk powder, monoglycerides, gum, Zantac gum, water, sugar, whey protein concentrate, dextrose, cocoa powder, glyceride, medium chain triglycerides, lactic acid, maltodextrin, and potassium salt. Yeah, that's weird. There's like 2 or 3 natural ingredients followed by about 12 artificial. We have 280 calories from that little pouch, 18 grams fat, 75 grams cholesterol, 130 grams sodium, 19 grams of sugar, 7 grams of protein. We got a good serving of calcium, a really good serving of potassium, vitamin D, and iron. Other than that, It's all just modern science. Let's slam some more of this down. That's going to take some getting used to. It doesn't taste natural at all. I'm not getting cookies and creams right off the palate from that. That's just weird. Being so liquidy. And you could definitely taste there's nothing natural in that. The gum, I'm going to finish this throughout the day. We're going to save some pieces for the next meal since we don't have coffee. I guess this is our coffee substitute. Yeah, let me take another slam of this. I think we got one more sip of that, and that's finished. This off camera with some water, because I feel like I'm going to need water after having this. All right, I want to say this has been a little disappointing, considering this is supposed to last you for 24 hours, a full day of operations. Yeah, I would think that if you're really fighting, this isn't going to cut it. But what do I know? I'm no soldier. All right, well, I'm going to finish this off camera. I hope my stomach can take it, because these just are not flowing well together, especially with now caffeine in my belly. This definitely feels like I'm going to have a stomach ache, because I could already feel something happening. But what are we going to do? It is what it is. All right, stay tuned for the next portion, which will be the dinner menu. All right, we're back. It is the last meal of the day. And what we have on the menu is our beef stew, our toffee dessert bar, our jalapeno cashews, they're always a favorite, and our beverage base, grape. So let's get this started, because actually I am pretty hungry. These meals seemed pretty light, so I don't understand why. They do meet the same caloric needs as the older First Strike rations, but I don't know. They just feel light. And I tell you that cookies and cream beverage, liquid, I tell you, that thing got things moving. That had me running for the border within 10 minutes of consuming it. So if you're worried about getting stopped up from all these carbs, forget about the brand pills like I suggested. Have one of those cookies and cream beverages. That will get things moving along like you ain't seen. Again, these are supposed to be consumed on the go, and I understand that guys aren't going to have time to plate up their food, but this is for you guys. This is a presentation, so you see exactly what we got here. Okay? All right, so that's our beverage bag. Nicely mixed up. There we go. Yep, and there's nothing left in the bottom. I don't know why grape looks blue, but what do I know, right? Toffee dessert bar. And that looks delectable. Wow. The smell of white chocolate. Wow, there's about 900 ingredients, which I'm not even going to begin to read. We'll be here for a half an hour. Look at that ingredients list. That's all the ingredients in the bar, right here. That's a lot. But it does have 250 calories, a lot of calcium, a lot of vitamins, protein 3 grams, 17 grams carbs, 35 milligrams cholesterol, 10 grams saturated fat, 110 milligram sodium. So I think that's more of a like a vitamin aid. And I don't see any tear notches on these cashews, so we're gonna bust out the old Spyderco. There we go. There's always a couple caught in the corner. There we go, that looks good. Give one a try. That is real good. And just for transparency, I warmed this up. I know you're supposed to suck this thing out of the pouch, but yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm sure in the field, guys are going to be able to improvise. And I don't care what you say, who doesn't enjoy a hot meal? And I am not sucking this thing down. And look at that, that looks actually pretty amazing. There's some serious chunks in here, and I don't know how you're going to manage to suck that thing out of the little opening. It's going to be like a McDonald's shake through a paper straw. Good luck. And they gave us picante seasoning. How are you supposed to season this when it's in the pouch? And I get it, they don't give you a spoon, but we're improvising. And we're doing it the way I want to do it. If you don't like it, post it the way you want to post it. This is how I'm doing it. Now that picante seasoning looks a little broken up. I mean, clumped up. It doesn't look like it's... Okay, there we go. It was just compacted. Yeah, that looks real good now. You don't often see the picante seasoning in a lot of MREs, and it is really good. Too bad you can't find this. Ingredients: paprika, red pepper, salt, sodium desiccate, hot sauce powder, aged, cayenne, red peppers, vinegar, salt, garlic, maltodextrin. Damn, they get maltodextrin in everything. Spikes, extracts, and extracts of paprika. Pretty simple. All right. Well, this is it. So let's first check out this mocha dessert bar, which that looks really good. Looks like we have little pieces of either nuts or Rice Krispies. No, that's toffee. That's the toffee dessert bar. That is really good. You know what this would go great with? A cup of coffee. That is fantastic. And that's good quality toffee. It's actually got a decent crunch to it. The base is like a vanilla fudge. That's the only way I can. And it looks and tastes really good. It's a little waxy, but fudge is often waxy. And it's not too dry, not too sweet at all. But you get a nice burst of sweetness from when that toffee starts crunching. All right, let's look at this stew. I'm really surprised that they actually wanted you, or the soldier, to suck this thing through that pouch. When you got, look at the chunks. That's a pretty nice chunk of meat right there. We got gravy, we got green beans, we got potatoes, we got carrots, and there's not a lot of vegetables in this. I mean, if I had to measure them out, I would say at least 2 or 3 tablespoons of vegetables each. You know, two tablespoons of these minced potatoes, 2 or 3 tablespoons of carrots, 2 or 3 tablespoons of green beans, and then the meat. I mean, the meat is overwhelming in this. They definitely give you a nice serving. I mean, it is a 350 calorie main. So let's give this a taste. Ah, The gravy is rich, salty, and that picante, that picante gives it a nice kick. But that is salty. That really is salty. I can only imagine that with age, this would get even a little saltier. They could have toned down the salt a little bit. The salt is overwhelming. And they do put a lot of gravy in it to help suck it out of the pouch. I couldn't imagine eating this cold. I mean, you're in the field, you could throw this on an exhaust pipe, an exhaust manifold, a heater on the windshield, you know, just bring it up to temperature. I just put this in some lukewarm water that's on the stove, maybe 5-10 minutes, got it warm. That's the way to do it. If you're gonna eat these, warm them up. Do yourself a favor. I mean, so much flavor comes out of everything. And I get it. In the field, you don't always have the luxury of warming something up. But if you have a moment to warm something up, you're gonna find a way. I think they're making a big mistake the way they're going. And I know that these aren't the final. They're gonna evolve. They're gonna go through tweaks, menu changes, throw in coffee, give them a hot beverage bag to make a cup of coffee, throw in some components that have caffeine already in them, like energy gels, but throw in the coffee. And you should have at least 2 mains that are in retort pouches and get rid of that spout. No one wants to suck a stew out of a spout. If they can't eat it, if they have to eat it on the move, you can always tear one of the tops open and spoon it out and give them a spoon. Also, throw in 2 or 3 of these beverages. Really. For the weight that you're saving by not putting in beverages, coffee, a spoon, another main, just to boost protein and calories. If they have to eat it on the move, they can always eat it cold. If they get the opportunity to actually sit down and actually have something warm, throw in there 2 mains, something like the Mexican chicken stew, beef stew, throw in 2 FRHs where you could just slide it in there, warm it up. I mean, really, it takes what, 5-10 minutes to warm it up? This is actually fantastic. And really, this is just a recycled stew from the regular MREs, so it's not like it's a new component. But that is nice warm. That really is nice warm. Warm them up, okay? If you have to, we know you could eat it cold. And how are you supposed to put on the picante when you're sucking it out? I guess you take a big mouthful and then you sprinkle some powder in your mouth? That doesn't make any sense. That's really good. I know I keep saying it, but I love a good stew. A little on the salty side. This makes it a pleasant. Can't get over how blue that is. That is not grape, that is blue. That is a good beef stew. Beverage base. That new component is really good. This is a winner right here. And now for the cashews. Those are really good. Very light roasting. Not too overly done. And they have a nice heat with this jalapeno powder. It adds a lot of flavor of the chili. This menu was outstanding. I personally don't agree with where they're going with the new CCARs. I think if you just put 2 mains in there, a good high protein main, filling, 2 FRHs, 3 or 4 drink packets on top of some of these new components, I think it'll be a hit. But it's too early to say. These have just come out. I mean, we forget that the First Strike Rations had almost a 22-year run. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to finish these cashews over a cup of coffee. I'm going to save this military gum for when I could use it. This was pretty good too. I didn't get any weird aftertaste from the Arctic mint. I know some people complain about that. This was really nice. Overall, this was a hit. I like the components that were in it. I like how they tasted. That cookies and cream beverage drink, nope. I think that's a laxative. And I would not look forward to having that. But tell me what you think. Tell me if you like the review. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's growing nicely. And I'm doing this all for you guys. Have a wonderful day.